morning to each and everyone. We will tackle today about human trafficking, the global health picture, responses to global health problems, and lastly, the avian flu. We'll tackle first about the human trafficking. In 2003, the United Nations Protocol against trafficking in persons entered into force, meaning nagkahiusa sila para sulbahon ang human trafficking. And yet, human trafficking remains a global problem. As the United Nations Population Fund State of World Population 2006 noted, trafficking is not only one of the most horrific manifestation of migration gone bad, it also undermines national security and stability. Estimates from the International Labour Organization, or the ILO, are trending to consider at least 12.3 million adults and children are victims of forced labor, bonded labor, and sex slavery each year. So imagine that, classmates, there are many our brothers and sisters, most especially the children, are experiencing human trafficking. Of these 12.3 million, those are women and girls. So girls and ladies, you are subjected to this problem. 20% of the total number of people trafficked are children. What is very disturbing is that most women who are trafficked end up working as domestic help or in sweatshops, meaning they are just being used by the personnel. Or many women are also forced to work in the sex trade. That's so bad for us, diba, Filipinos. With estimates of $7 billion to 12 billion a year, human trafficking is the third most profitable illicit industry after drugs and arms smuggling. In terms of international cooperation to address refugees, the UNHCR is mandated by the United Nations to lead and coordinate international action for the worldwide protection of refugees, and moreover, the organization strives to ensure that everyone, meaning every one of us, everyone can exercise the right to seek asylum and find safe refuge in another state, and to return home voluntarily. The United States is the largest bilateral donor to the organization. Okay, what do you mean by bilateral again? Very good. That is the meaning of bilateral. So, the rest of the international efforts have made substantial progress in assisting refugees. Indeed, long-term migrants, whether economic migrants or political refugees, continue to pose major problems for their host countries and the international community. Thousands of migrants face discrimination and anti-migrant violence until democracy, economic progress, and environmental protection catch up with population growth in the developing world. Great numbers of people will continue to leave developing countries in search of political freedom and economic opportunity in the developed world. So let's define what is industrialized nations. The industrialized nations can choose between turning away of immigrants and welcoming them, and can decide how and how much to promote economic development abroad, but they can ignore the crowds outside their gates forever. Next is the developing nations. Also face the challenge of absorbing large number of refugees who have fled because of conflict and oppressive regimes. As realism, liberalism, and constructivism, again, what are these? Very good. These are the three theoretical paradigms. As realism claims, states are fiercely protective of their sovereignty and therefore of who can enter their territorial boundaries. However, liberalism can also help us understand the role of international institutions in getting states to cooperate to address migration. And lastly, constructivism. Constructivism can account for the emergence of international norms to protect refugees. So now, let's proceed to the global health picture. At almost every state of life, people in developing countries are more susceptible to health problems than those in richer ones because poverty, malnutrition, and poor sanitation contribute to the spread of disease. So meaning, the health problems is very important to the poor people rather than the rich ones. One broad measure of general health, life expectancy is now about 67.6 years for the world as a whole. But on average, people in developed regions can expect to live longer than those in poorer states. Like in 2009, the country with the highest life expectancy was Macau. It has 84.36 years. And while Angola had the lowest life expectancy and has 38.2 years. Approximately 99% of child and infant deaths occur in the developing states. Nearly 90% of all deaths and of children in developing countries are the result of 6 conditions. So here are the 6 conditions or the 6 diseases that they are experiencing. First is the diarrhea. Second is the malaria. Third is the measles. Fourth is the neonatal causes. Fifth is the pneumonia. And lastly, the HIV/AIDS or the human immunodeficiency virus or the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. The WHO, or commonly known as the World Health Organization, asserts that a combination of communicable disease and malnutrition is the most prevalent public health problem in the world today. Together, they are responsible for millions of preventable deaths worldwide each year. The World Health Organization estimates that 2.5 million children died in 2008 for vaccine-preventable diseases such as diphtheria, tetanus, hepatitis, yellow fever, and polio. While 106 million babies were vaccinated, a record in 2008, nearly 20% of babies born annually do not receive the complete routine vaccination schedule for the first year of life. So meaning, kung pagawas pagaling sa bata, kailangan na mabakunahan or ma-vaccinate. Cholera, a deadly disease primarily transmitted by contaminated water and food, also claims a significant number of victims in developing areas. Other neglected tropical diseases or the NPD, such as leprosy and schistosomiasis, affect 1 billion people in the world. Acquired immune deficiency syndrome, or known as AIDS, is one of the world's most serious problems, caused by the human immunodeficiency virus, or the HIV. It is actually a complex interaction between impairment of the immune system and opportunistic infections such as pneumonia, tuberculosis, syphilis, and other conditions. It is transmitted through blood and sexual contact. And from pregnant women to the fetuses they carry. Approximately 2 million people died from HIV and AIDS in 2008. Let's move on to the responses to global health problems. Most responses to international problems depend on individual reactions of single states, many of which are constrained by domestic financial considerations. Global health problems are no exceptions. AIDS is only one of the most recent of many deadly diseases to which the world community has tried to formulate a unified response. The ways in which the international community has dealt with these problems, ranging from immunization to attempts at eradication, illustrate the difficulties in securing international cooperation even on the deadliest issues. My last topic is all about the avian flu, or yes, you, Hazel. If you can hear the word avian, what will come first into your mind? Okay, very good. When we first hear the word avian, it's all about the birds. But there is a flu, so meaning a virus, a disease that comes from the bird. An outbreak of avian influenza in the world began in Southeast Asia, so meaning gagikan man sa Southeast Asia, in mid-2003. According to the World Health Organization, this outbreak is considered to be the largest and most severe on record. Never before in the history of disease have so many countries been simultaneously affected, resulting in the loss of so many birds. At present, humans have become infected by contact with birds in several countries, including Cambodia, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. So meaning, if you have your contact, you are infected by the contact of the birds, you are already affected with the avian flu. The problem is that once the human-to-human threat or transmission of the virus becomes efficient and sustained, the threat of the pandemic is quite real. It is real. Also, the vaccines are manufactured annually for seasonal influenza at present. There is no effective vaccine available for pandemic. So meaning, wala dyan kanang available na vaccine or bakuna para ani nga disease or flu. As president of a country in the Southeast Asian region, because diba gasugod man sa Southeast Asia ang avian flu. You have been informed by your health ministry that an outbreak of the disease has been discovered in a small village. So, ga-start na siya sa gamay na village. No humans have distracted and contracted the disease as of yet. You recognize the threat of this infectious disease to your domestic poultry as well as your citizens. You also are aware that the possibility of a larger pandemic exists. In addition, you must take into account the effect on your country's tourist industry, which is a major part of your economy, should the outbreak become public. Hong Kong experienced a severe drop in tourism as a result of its bird flu outbreak. And that's the end of the report. Once again, good morning and thank you.